on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a Chicago Bulls and Milwaukee Bucks game reaction. The Chicago Bulls traveled a very short distance to Milwaukee, and in the end, a very energetic crowd, a very interesting game to say the least. A game where the offense may have not been the talking point for either team in this game, but the Bulls continued to battle. We had opportunities to win this game, but we fell short to the Milwaukee Bucks. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and Milwaukee Bucks game today. Your player of the game, I don't think there's much question about that one, and your overall thoughts and opinions on the game. We lost this game 94-90 to the Milwaukee Bucks, and I have no real arguments about the result in this game. Obviously, there were a few things in this game that did get a lot of Bulls fans wilded up, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But we were very short-handed, and we competed very well against this Milwaukee Bucks side, and that's all I could really ask from this Chicago Bulls team. Would I have loved to see this team win? Absolutely. There's nothing more I would have loved than to see a rivalry between the Bucks and the Bulls going to the Bucks arena and beating them with a short-handed team. That would have been a great story to tell, and obviously one of the highlights of the season, but unfortunately things just did not work in that area, and a lot of reasons as to why it didn't work. But I want to talk a little bit about the positives today. I want to give a massive shout out to DeMar DeRozan for the effort and the overall tenacity and fight that he showed in this game. DeMar DeRozan was truly outstanding for the Chicago Bulls today. He did it defensively, he did it offensively. He was unbelievable. He got to the foul line, he's forced his way into the situation, and again, without DeMar DeRozan's performance today, we get blown out, ladies and gentlemen. He was truly unbelievable in this game today, and he deserves a lot of praise for his performance. Obviously, there were a lot of, I guess, good situations for the Chicago Bulls where we did capitalize and we kept fighting. Again, there were some instances the Bucks were probably playing a little bit better than the Bulls. They sucked from the three-point line. Both teams sucked from the three-point line, which is not accustomed to both teams. The Bucks and the Bulls are one of the highest three-point shooting teams in the NBA. So a game that was very weird to see as well, as both teams just simply could not put it down from the three-point line. I think for the Bulls is more understandable because we're missing two 40% three-point shooters on our team. I don't really know what the Bucks' excuse was for missing a lot of threes. But at the end of the day, we had to keep fighting. We had to get to the foul line. We had to force our way into the paint. We had to take some tough, gritty shots. And we just had to make sure we kept it in the game. And that's the point of battling. That's the biggest positive to take away. DeMar DeRozan was fantastic, but this team battled on the offense and the defensive end. Tyler Cook returns today, starts and defends Giannis Antetokounmpo. Do you stop Giannis Antetokounmpo? No one, newsflash, no one will stop Giannis Antetokounmpo. Any person saying we need a trade to stop Giannis and to stop Kevin Durant, there's no one in the NBA, in the world entirely, will stop Giannis or Kevin Durant. You get players to slow them down, to make things a little bit tougher for them. You will never stop those guys down. You stop those guys. It's as simple as that. Not one person in the NBA will be able to stop those guys. But you slow them down. And I thought Tyler Cook did a fantastic job on Giannis today. I thought in the end he got into foul trouble, but he did some good things. He got some offensive fouls over Giannis. He ended up getting some nice, good opportunities at the paint and dunks on Giannis. And at the end of the day, you have to make things difficult for him. And I think Giannis was very frustrated today. And outside of the fourth quarter, I think we flustered him a little bit more than expected. But nevertheless, Giannis does what Giannis does. Chris Middleton had a good game as well. And they won the game. Again, it was a game where both teams didn't play well. It's a game where both teams probably did not wish they would have a game like this ever again. It's just one of those types of games. But Milwaukee walked away with the win, and the Bulls walked away with a valiant effort, a resilient effort, but walked away with a loss at the end of the day. And it's something we will quickly move on from. And I'm just very happy that this team competed against a fairly healthy Milwaukee Bucks side, and we competed very well. That's what I'm going to take away from this game, and that's what I'm very happy about. Let's move into the negative. The biggest talking point in the room, that foul call on Alex Caruso, that Grayson Allen flagrant 2 foul, was, in my opinion, one of the most shocking things I've seen in the NBA in terms of fouls. That was a horrific foul. unbelievably horrific, and it just makes me think that this NBA is supposed to be like a brotherhood type thing. You're meant to take care of the players out there. At the end of the day, you're allowed to do hard fouls. Hard fouls are there for a reason. But fouls like that is, I truly don't understand how any player from the Milwaukee Bucks or the Chicago Bulls side can just sit there and let that happen, allow that to happen, and to not really react in any type of way. Grayson Allen, not only did he deserve to be kicked out, I think there should be more that should be done on that, because that is a horrifically poor foul. And I don't think anybody on any side would disagree with me on that situation. Maybe, of course, Milwaukee fans might say, oh, it is what it is. He got kicked out of the game. Let's end it at that. But if there was any other situation in which Alex Caruso landed, if he landed on his back, that could be his NBA career over. If he landed on his head, that could be NBA career over. That could be life-threatening depending on how he landed. And he had no control over that. Alex Caruso is very lucky that he escaped that situation with no injury. We've seen what hard injuries can do to NBA players. We've seen it with Patrick Williams. And the fact that they allow these types of fouls to happen and not more is done about it is unbelievable. I've not seen a Bulls player this whole season commit that harsh of a foul like that. And it speaks volumes. It's his reputation. He likes to do those types of things. He does it all the time. And at the end of the day, reputation precedes him. We verse Grayson Allen. He does all of his tricks, all of his dirty fouls, trying to get players injured, tripping players ever since his college days, and it's expressed in the NBA as well. There's no room for that type of nonsense here, in my opinion. There's truly not. If you want to make a hard foul, you make a hard foul, but that's the extent of it. You don't go any further than that. And not only did he go further than that, he took it miles and leaps further than that. You can never stop an NBA player from not being able to control where he lands. That's the safety. That's the rules of the NBA. He deserves to get kicked out, but there should be more done, in my opinion. And there should be more rules in place for players like that so they don't get away with fouls like that constantly. It's a reputation thing at the end of the day. And players are going to keep doing it if it takes, getting another player hurt so they don't end up being in the game, a very important player like Alex Caruso, and 2, they're going to keep on doing it because they know they could get away with it. They'll miss the rest of the game probably. They'll be back next game like nothing ever happened. There has to be more done so make sure that you don't commit dirty fouls like that in the NBA. But regardless, I may have gone on a little bit of a tangent. I'll quickly go through the individual performances, ladies and gentlemen. First off, Ayo Dosunmu had 5 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, shot 22% from the field today. He was not great scoring. We saw a couple of really poor scoring nights from both teams, and especially the Chicago Bulls and the 2 guards that we needed to step up today. We needed that second, third scoring option, and Ayo was not the guy to bring that to the Chicago Bulls today. Defensively, I thought he was okay. Again, mismatch on Chris Middleton didn't help him very well. Chris Middleton had a great game in my eyes. But again, Ayo is someone that I'm not bothered about in the next one. I know he will have a very big response in his next game against the Orlando Magic. That's the type of guy that he is. DeMar DeRozan had 35, 6, and 3 assists in today's game. Unbelievable. Shot 17 from 18 from the free throw line. It shows that he had to force the issue today because no one was really helping him on the offensive end today. So DeMar had to do some really big things. DeMar had to take it into his own hands and force up shots, make some really tough shots as well. It was a Kobe-esque performance today, and it's a shame he didn't end up getting this stat line with a victory for the Chicago Bulls. Kobe White had 7 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists in today's game. It's 20% from the field. He did not make a 3, 0 from 9 from the 3-point line. Now, Kobe White has been extremely consistent up to this point. So there's no point in me bashing and criticizing Kobe White for a game like this. Every single time, there will be a game where scorers can't seem to find their rhythm and their scoring touch is off. This is what we saw from Kobe White today. The first time in a long time he didn't crack double digits. At the end of the day, he couldn't really find other ways to contribute. He wasn't great defensively. But this is not a game where I'm going to criticize Kobe White. This is not a game where I expect many people to say we have to trade Kobe White. This is a game where we just hope we do not see that level of performance again. And in the next game against the Orlando Magic, we can see Kobe White return to that shooting form that we all know that he can produce. And that's what I'm looking forward to in the next one. Nikola Vucevic had 19 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. He got into a couple of foul trouble. Ladies and gentlemen. 7 for 17 from the field in total. Again, I didn't think Vucevic had the greatest of games, but a lot of his damage has once again become in the post. And it makes so much sense to see Nikola Vucevic in the post more often, yet he doesn't really like to be that type of center that battles in the post every single possession. He's more of a guy that likes to spread the floor, shoot some threes, shoot some mid-ranges. He's not really a guy that wants to post hook or wants to get into the paint all the way in there and maybe go for an easy layup or an easy dunk. He's not that type of center as often as we would probably expect to see from him. So that's where I want to see a lot of his damage come from. I would always like to see Vucevic start from the post, get some easy shots there before he extends the range from the three. He does the opposite. His first shot usually of the game is a three-point shot, and then he pushes into the post later on in the game. And I think if he does the opposite, his three-point shot will come to him naturally just because he's already made a few shots at the beginning of the game. That's my personal opinion on the situation. Defensively, I thought he could have guarded Bobby Portis a little bit better. Bobby Portis wasn't great from the three-point line, but everywhere else he was really good. At the end of the day, he had another double-double. It's not a bad game from Vucevic in my eyes. Tyler Cook had 4 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 steal in today's game, with a block as well, I should say. And I thought he did a very good job in trying to annoy Giannis and trying to make things difficult for Giannis. Again, got into foul trouble as well, as you do often expect. And I'm really proud of the effort that he put in on his return. This is not a game where we've seen 10 games of Tyler Cook versus coming up against this Milwaukee Bucks team, and he's fully fit, he's fully ready, he's well conditioned, he's able to stop Giannis. He was coming in pretty much straight through the fire. He comes in, he returns, he starts. That was what we saw with Tyler Cook, and I think he did a phenomenal job. At the end of the day, stats might not show what he does, but I really think he did a great job in today's game, and I think he should be very proud of his performance overall. He was splendid in today's game, and maybe that solidifies his spot, at least for now, as a starting power forward, especially if we need a little bit of more paint production. He's definitely a guy that can supply that for the Chicago Bulls. Alex Caruso had 7 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. It was really, really good in terms of the defense and the playmaking. As usual, he wasn't scoring very well today. But again, all I can say is I'm just happy that he's playing. I mean, that foul was just so horrifically bad. Anything could have happened to Alex Caruso. Literally anything could have happened to him. Another injury, potentially life-threatening, NBA career ending, whatever the case may be. Anything could have happened on that foul call. So all I'm doing is counting my lucky stars, and I'm very thankful that he got up, he was able to continue fighting, he was able to continue playing, and I thought at the end of the day, you live to fight another day. Did he have a great game in total? I thought he was very good. Not great, but very good. And he'll be able to play in the next game, it looks like, and that's what I'm thankful for at the end of the day. Troy Brown Jr. had 2 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. Not a good game from Troy Brown Jr. Scoring was not there. He took a lot of shots that I did not really like from him. Kind of forced the issue a little bit. Not really great defensively either in today's game. You just got to move on from that one. Matt Thomas had 11 points and 3 rebounds. Again, this is a coaching mistake in my opinion from Billy Donovan. At the end of the game, when we needed a 3-point shot pretty much, I don't know why Matt Thomas was not in the game. Unless my eyes deceived me, Matt Thomas was not in that game, and Matt Thomas wasn't in the game whenever we needed a bucket in the fourth quarter. And that was a mistake in my eyes. I think that's a coaching mistake. I think he decided to ride with Kobe White and ride with Ayo Dosunmu when both of those guys were struggling from the field. You have a guy that's shooting over 57% from the field. He was shooting 60% from the three-point line. He's on your bench. He's played a good amount of minutes. He's feeling the game. He has the momentum on his side. You have to bring him in the game. When we need a three-point shot, Matt Thomas should be in the game. It's as simple as that. And I think it's a very poor coaching decision that we didn't see him in the final stretches to potentially make something happen in this game. Nevertheless, it is what it is. You move on. You pick up your bags. You travel to Orlando. You maybe not forget about this game. You should be very proud of the effort and the way that we fought back in this game. But you just got to move on. It's happened. We versed the Milwaukee Bucks away from home and we battled very hard and we lost. let's just see what will happen next time we verse the Milwaukee Bucks. We will have 3 games against them. This is a division game at the end of the day, and I'm sure every single one of these games that we verse against the Milwaukee Bucks will be very competitive, and it will show the best, hopefully, out of both sides. And this might not be the best representation for either team, but maybe in the next game both teams will play much better than this game particularly. The must improve for me is Coby White. I just want to move on. I don't really want to talk about why Coby White was the must improve. We all saw the game. We all know the game that happened. And I don't want to dwell on a game like this for Coby White because I've seen his consistency. I've seen he can do this on a nightly basis where he could shoot really well from the field, where he could score in bunches, and where he can also contribute well on the defensive end. This was just not that game for Coby White. The player of the game is very easily DeMar DeRozan. Again, in my opinion, without DeMar DeRozan, I don't know where the Bulls would be in this game. It would almost look like a bloodbath, to be honest, with how the Chicago Bulls actually brought the scoring to this game. If it wasn't for DeMar, we would not have stood a chance. And for him to keep us in this game shows how important he is to this team, shows that he's one of our best players, and shows that he's playing at an MVP caliber level even still until now, even after a loss. We are saying this about DeMar DeRozan. The crowd was chanting for DeMar DeRozan. Of course, a lot of MVP chants. There were a lot of Bulls fans in that arena today, but even Milwaukee fans, I think, saw a really good DeMar DeRozan performance today, and I'm sure they'll be impressed with that one as well. The Bulls' record, ladies and gentlemen, is 28-16. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't believe we are first at the moment, but again, correct me if I'm wrong. We might still be holding on to that first spot. But this is a really tough game and we battled hard. But our next game against the Orlando Magic might be a game we have to take advantage of. At the end of the day, I don't want to see the Bulls playing to the level of the opponents. We have seen that quite a few times over these stretch of games where we're not playing up to our best level and we do kind of fall into the level of the opposition team that we face. Orlando has to be a game, even with our short-handed players, we have the better team against the Orlando Magic in my eyes, and we have to take advantage of a game like that. It's going to be away from home. It's going to be a very emotional game for a player like Vucevic, who is his old team that he's facing. But regardless of that, we need a win here. This is an opportunity to get a win away from home against an opposition that is not at the best level in terms of the NBA season. We must take advantage of this game. We have to fight, we have to win, and we just need to find a way. This is the game that I'm very excited about. I'm confident walking into this game, but at the end of the day, it's the NBA. You can never take any team lightly, and if we come in and we do not perform, if we give an offensive performance like we did today against the Milwaukee Bucks, against the Orlando Magic, maybe there's the same outcome that can result and we fall away. Let's hope that's not the case. Have a wonderful and safe day, Bulls Nation. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video. Take care.